I'm Harley, and this is Andrew. We're with Rival Mind. We are going to talk about one of the most frequently asked questions that we get in the sales process, and this is, do I need a new website, or can I just tweak my old one?
Yeah, Harley, this is going to be a good conversation. There's going to be 3 questions we're going to kind of walk through today about determining if I need a new website.
Yep. One
is just going to be, just to start, how do I know if I need one? Can I tweak my current site? And then what kind of CMS do I want to use? And by CMS, we mean content management system. That is how you manipulate the content on your site. So Harley, I know we're going to get into each of these questions specifically, but to get started, what questions should you ask when determining if you need a new website?
Yeah, so there's a few questions in my mind. The first one is, do you like the way your website looks? Realistically, if you're not happy with the way your website looks, you don't feel like it represents your business as a whole, make a new one. That's the beauty of the digital space and digital marketing today. The second one I would say is, this has to do with outdated websites. Is your website out of date? You can tell it in a few different ways. One, does it take forever to load? Google really cares about whether or not your website loads fast, especially on a mobile device. The second one that I would say is, does your website look good on a mobile device? If you're looking at it on your desktop and it looks okay, and then you go to your mobile device and it's the same exact thing that you see on the desktop, just shrunk down, what that means is that your website's not mobile responsive, and you need to make sure that you're serving an optimized website experience for users on different device sizes.
Yeah, so a couple takeaways from that. Not to be too simple, but first impression test. When I get to a site, what is my first impression? Does this site look good?
Yep.
Does it feel good? Does it feel updated? I know a lot of times with e-commerce, does this site feel secure to put in my information?
Oh, absolutely.
And as simple as that sounds, it's like you can tell just immediately when you get to that site where you just know it's a little sketchy. I don't know if I should put my card information in it. So just first impression test, and then you said speed as well. I know there's a couple stats out there, but about the number one reason carts are abandoned is slow website speeds.
Yep.
And Harley, I know you from Google, what did you say? It's about 40%. Yeah, go ahead and what's that stat you mentioned to me earlier?
40% of users that are coming from Google will click on your result, and if it takes 3 seconds or longer to load, they'll actually go back to Google to find a different result. And Google's tracking that, and so if you're doing SEO or doing any sort of marketing for your website specifically, that's a super huge one to consider.
Those are great points and good questions, I think, to think about.
Yep.
Question 2 is, a lot of times we get this question of, can I just take my current website and just tweak it a little bit? Or can I make it just a little bit faster or update some of the graphics? And the answer automatically, sometimes it depends. But Harley, can you unpack that just a little bit about the difference between, should I spend money to rebuild my site, or should I make some kind of tweaks to it?
Yeah, so short answer, absolutely. You can always tweak your website. Now, depending on how your website was built, might determine whether or not it's difficult to do or expensive to do if you're a business owner and you don't have any programming experience. So that said, cost-benefit analysis, what's the opportunity cost? How much time will it require a developer or a designer to make your website look the way you want it to, versus how much time will it be to build a new website? We run into situations all the time where, because the original website was constructed in a certain way, it would take almost the same amount of time for us to tweak the design and get the website up to speed as far as new technology and responsiveness as it would to just build a brand new website altogether. So we often ask business owners to simply evaluate the cost. If a company that's going to help you get your website up to speed or make tweaks says, hey, it's going to take 100 hours to do this and this is our hourly charge, you might consider going for a new website altogether, because following some of the new design techniques and implementing user experience, traffic data and whatnot, you can actually increase the profitability of your website by redesigning it.
I know one question that's actually, I was going to ask you that could go a little bit deeper on this. Can you tweak it? Some of the different CMSs or content management systems like WordPress or Shopify, Wix, like those are just some ones that come to the top of my head. That websites are built using templates, and it's hard to manipulate certain potential what's the right word, aspects of that.
Yeah.
So could you just briefly, before we go into, we'll get a little bit more into current CMSs and should I switch or not. Before then, what about if you have a template, can you modify that, or do you kind of need to start over if you really don't like your current layout?
Yeah, good question. So WordPress is kind of the predominant website platform in the world today. They have over half of the websites on the internet are WordPress. They'll often be constructed using templates, like you said, where here's the framework that you have to work within. Here are the options that we're going to provide you, and then this is what you have. If you don't like it, you need someone with programming experience to modify what's offered.
Yeah.
Sites like Wix are a little bit more beneficial for people who want to do things themselves because they can pick a general template and then modify things within it. But then again, Wix templates say, here's what's offered. If you don't like it, find a new template.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of times we get clients or prospective clients that come in and say, have a Wix website or a Squarespace site, or maybe it's a WordPress site that's a little bit older that they want, to bring up to speed.
Yeah.
And we can say, we can do all these things for you, but this is the limitations of your template or your builder. We have to have one of our developers custom code kind of addendums to the template, and that's where the cost really gets high. And that's also kind of to be said, it's the same for making your website faster. If you're building your website off of a specific theme or template in WordPress, maybe Shopify, Wix, Squarespace, all those guys, those themes or templates often have specific code that's pre-built in that could be slowing down the website, and you actually can't change that, otherwise the theme will stop working. And so you have to be really careful when making edits to the website to increase speed or increase the appearance or make it look better, because there are just straight up limitations on what can be done on themes and builders, which are super common in the web design space today.
Yeah, thanks for diving into that. I know the answer really does depend on should I tweak it or should I rebuild, and it can depend a little bit on the size of the site sometimes. Like a massive e-commerce store that was maybe built a year ago, you want to make some changes, that's definitely going to be, let's tweak this.
For sure.
Versus a potential small business website that was built 7 years ago that just looks a little bit outdated. It might be better for new technology that's come out, new design techniques to refresh it.
Absolutely.
To go into the last question that we're going to talk about today, your current CMS or switching. So the question is, I've got a CMS. It allows me to ultimately, that's what edits the content on the website, how I add pictures, content. Should I stick with my current CMS or should I consider changing? What are some of the pros and cons that I should be thinking about in terms of staying or switching?
Yeah, so an example of a CMS or content management system would be WordPress. Some others include Shopify for e-commerce, Magento, Squarespace, and Wix. Those are all CMSs. The websites are built using those. Now you can have WordPress CMS and be using a template or a theme builder, or like Rival Mind does, you can have a custom developed theme that allows for a lot more customization within that CMS. So generally speaking, if you don't like how the back end of your website operates, man, it's really hard to publish pages on this website because XYZ issues occur every time I go in there, or it's hard to make images the right size, or it's difficult to edit the text, or whatever it might be about the back end and the admin side of your website, you might consider switching to a different CMS that has different options that are more flexible.
Yeah, so how important is editability versus just custom development potential on a site can impact your CMS? Are you running into issues where it can't do what you need to do?
Right.
Or commonly what we hear is, I just want to add a blog post, or I just want to change the picture and I can't figure it out. I need to call my development partner.
Right.
And we spend thousands of dollars every year updating, and I'm talking from the client, they're spending a lot of money just to change things. So I think that's a good question, is how editable do I need to make it? And or what type of, do I need any custom functionality, etc.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful, Harley, in terms of, to summarize just a little bit, does your site look good?
Yep.
Is it fast?
Yep.
how long ago was it built and the size of it? Do I need to tweak it or rebuild? And then to finish out, kind of what do I need to do on a regular basis on my site can help you determine what type of CMS you need and if you should change or if you should leave it. So
yeah, are you a company that is okay shipping out anytime you need a change to a website?
Yep.
Calling someone like Rival Mind, hey guys, can you change this specific thing on this specific page? Okay, cool. Here's the invoice. Are you okay with that? Or a lot of times the smaller businesses, gosh, I just want to update this page and put some new images on. I don't want to pay $400 for that.
Yeah.
So having a CMS that's going to allow you to edit the content quickly and efficiently yourself is oftentimes the winner there.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Harley, for all this great information. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us and ask. But we appreciate your time, and we look forward to talking to you soon.